Hey there, good people, it's your Crippled Critic, and I had to take a week off from uploading because of technical problems, but I'm back, and this week I'll be talking about a game called Beyond Eyes. Beyond Eyes is an adventure game about a 10-year-old girl named Ray who loses her eyesight when she was younger in an accident. She then decides to leave her secluded house and brave the outside world. The game was made by Tiger and Squid, an indie development team in the Netherlands. However, the main director and writer was designer Sherida Halatoe, who made the first prototype for the game and really pushed to get it made. This was definitely a passion project of hers, and a lot of effort was put into making the player have a small idea of what it's like to be blind. For example, the game has a unique look and game mechanic. Initially, the world is white, but as Ray walks closer to objects, they become clearer and more tangible. So Beyond Eyes is an extremely simple game. You move with the left control stick and occasionally press X to interact with things. The game didn't really have many control options to speak of. You can lower and raise the volume and change the sensitivity of the camera. Gamers with fine motor skill impairments shouldn't have trouble at all playing this game. I would have liked it if the camera followed the character a little more, but like I said, the gameplay is really simple, it's slow paced, and there isn't any moment where you have to move in precise, fast movements. There aren't any subtitles in the game, but other than one small part, there really isn't any spoken dialogue. The one small scene isn't important and shouldn't stop anybody from moving forward in the game. There are moments in Beyond Eyes that use sound to try to confuse the player, and they're meant to make objects obstacles depending on what you think you're hearing. I would say that deaf players may initially be disoriented by this, but again, the game is really simple, and once you understand what these objects are, they're really easy to avoid. What little story there is told through text, and it has pretty big font. There's no brightness meter you can change in Beyond Eyes, but the game is already extremely bright as it is. Also, colors of objects are never important, so I think colorblind players and gamers with visual impairments shouldn't have any trouble at all playing this. Like I said, the gameplay is pretty simple. You're mostly going to be exploring. You'll interact with objects, open the occasional gate or jump over a fence, but that's about it. It's a pretty linear game, and even though there'll be a branching path occasionally, I really wouldn't recommend going down any of them because you won't really get rewarded for it. There's nothing to collect or unlock. Something kind of frustrating about the game is that it's really slow, like so slow. It's only 2 hours long and it feels longer, and I would say it's because that there's no actual way to run in the game. You just walk everywhere very slowly, and I do think it was done on deliberately in order to make the player sort of look at the surroundings and look at the world. But I don't know, I feel like adding a run feature would have improved things so much, just giving you a little bit more freedom. Some of the more interesting moments to me are when the game intentionally tries to toy with your expectations of the environment around you. The game doesn't have much actual music, it's mostly just ambient noise. I think it's meant to make you feel like you don't know what you're seeing until you get closer to it. Oftentimes Ray will get scared by some of these objects, but the puzzles start to repeat themselves pretty quickly, and they're pretty rare as it is. The story is mostly just about Ray exploring the world around her. Originally, she's scared to leave her house alone because she's blind, but she befriends a cat she names Nani, and following him gives her the courage to leave. I mean, the story was so simple, I really wasn't even sure if the game was supposed to be for kids or not. The game will just spoon feed you everything. It'll outright just tell you how Ray is feeling or what she's doing, like Ray is feeling sad, or Ray decides to look for her cat. But not to spoil anything, but the end of the game is really depressing, and I wasn't really sure if they wanted kids to play this. So originally I was going to write this game off, but I just felt like it was boring and slow, and not being able to run really limited the amount of fun I was having. The art style was nice, and the gameplay was kind of different, but to me that wasn't enough to make it all that fun. But then I looked a little more into the production of the game, and well, now I'm a little more conflicted. The lead director, Sherida Halatoe, put a lot of love and care into making this game feel like you're blind. Supposedly, she talked to a bunch of blind people and even companies that cater to blind people's needs in order to make an authentic experience, I guess. That's the thing, you know. I think any designer that tries to make gamers understand what it's like to have a disability, it's just commendable. It's just unfortunate that the actual gameplay wasn't more engaging. It also seemed like Sherida put a lot of ideas in this game, maybe too much. As I saw in the production of the game, more and more ideas were put in as it went on. For instance, the game is about being blind, but it's also supposed to be about anxiety and apparently Sherida's relationship with her father. To be honest, a lot of the deeper meaning in the story was lost on me until I looked it up later. The idea of the game was really great. The end result, maybe not so great. Still, I've never played a game about disability, and that's worth a lot to me. It's a really short game, and for me, I got it on sale for about $3, so I think it's worth it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.